seeing as we still have some time before my meeting, we might as well enjoy some pleasant conversation while we wait. I'm glad to see you get along with my children. Being surrounded by good companions is necessary for a child's development.
You're not planning on doing anything to them, are you?
I assume you're referring to Lenny, Lynette, and Fremine. Although, there's that situation with Filial and Nentoy as well. It appears quite a few people have been acting out lately. No matter. I'm not one to discriminate. All those who betray the house meet the same fate. There are no exceptions.
Does that mean you're going to kill them?
Oh, are you here to beg for their lives? I'm sorry to disappoint, but the rules of the house change for no one. In my organization, everyone is responsible for their own actions.
But don't you care about them at all? They really respect you. They even call you father. You must feel something for them.
Any organization in which feelings come before principles is one destined for ruin. The House of the Hearth is hardly an exception. You could say our principles are more stringent than most. Perhaps I can offer you this consolation at least. As our guests, you two will not be held accountable along with them. I would imagine Linny, Lynette, and Fremine will be able to keep their lives. As for Filial, Nentoy, and the others, I'm afraid there's little I can do. They can try to escape, but once you know our secrets, there's no getting out alive.
But that's awful.
Ah, you seem concerned. Out of consideration for my guests, I suppose I could turn a blind eye for a little longer. If Linny and the others manage to dispose of Clairvy in the meantime, all evidence of their wrongdoing will be lost. In that case, I could hardly punish them for something I couldn't prove. If their efforts are unsuccessful, on the other hand, all will be held accountable, and the punishment will be severe. Of course. Oh, and here, I believe this belongs to you. Do try and keep better track of it next time. It takes a considerable amount of time to train a bird like this. It would be such a pity if you were to lose it. Permanently.
Wait, where did you get that?
Well, I'm afraid that's all the time we have to chat. Now, for the matter at hand. I asked you to meet me here because I have business at the Palais Mermonia. It has nothing to do with you, but I think it would be prudent for you to stick by my side for the time being. There will always be time later to run off and tell Linny what you've learned. Well, time to go. Looks like we wrapped things up just in time. It's been a while, Monsieur Neuvillette. I must say, I wasn't expecting my meeting request to be approved quite so quickly. The Palais Mermonia operates with an efficiency worthy of admiration.
It is only right that an esteemed diplomat such as yourself should be afforded the proper level of respect. Although, if I may speak plainly, I must confess that I did not anticipate we would have the occasion to meet again after presenting you with the Gnosis. I see you've brought the Traveler and Paimon with you as well. If I may inquire as to the purpose of your visit.
I'll be departing Fontaine shortly. There is, however, an outstanding matter that I would like to see resolved before I go. It requires a rather lengthy explanation, I'm afraid. So I took the liberty of explaining everything in this proposal. Please review it at your leisure, Monsieur Neuvillette.
I understand your request. However, at the risk of causing offense, I must admit that I fail to see why you would wish for such a thing.
I heard you have a certain fondness for water tasting, Monsieur Neuvillette, so allow me to use water as an analogy. A family is like a large body of water with countless rivers flowing in and out. As someone who watches over this system, I would hope that each river that flows from the source will eventually reach the ocean. Of course, objectively speaking, I know this is impossible. Most of the rivers will dry up along the way, disappearing into the ground and leaving nothing but a barren riverbed behind. Not all rivers are destined to reach the ocean, but I would not see their existence rendered meaningless. I believe the water that flows within them is simply meant for a different destination, like a field in need of irrigation. Or perhaps the glass of a certain water-tasting enthusiast.
Did you get any of that, Traveler?
Your words paint an optimistic picture indeed. Allow me to remind you, however, few among us are willing to sip from a glass filled with tainted water.
It may have been tainted at one point in time, but not to worry. I'll make sure it's strained of all impurities and returned to its cleanest form.
I seem to recall there being a transactional aspect to your proposal. Perhaps you could expound on that?
If you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I will gradually withdraw my forces from Fontaine. And, unless absolutely necessary, I will no longer carry out any special missions within Fontaine.
I presume I can take your words to mean that, in the future, cases similar to the Tartuffe assassination will cease to cross my desk?
Tartuffe? Ah, that thief who embezzled funds from all those charities, you mean? My deepest condolences to his family, but without any evidence, I cannot imagine how the House of the Hearth might have been involved in his passing. Of course, if you accept my proposal, Monsieur Neuvillette, I'm sure certain measures could be taken to reduce the frequency of such troubles.
You choose your words carefully indeed. In that case, I am inclined to accept your proposal.
My thanks for your generosity, Monsieur Neuvillette. Well, with that settled, we should be going now. I took the liberty of bringing along 2 bottles of spring water from Snezhnaya for you to enjoy. I do hope I get the chance to hear your impressions. Perhaps at our next meeting, yes?
Indeed. I trust you would not overlook your commitment in the meantime.
All right, Traveler Paimon. Time to go.
So, what exactly were you talking about back there? Paimon only heard you mention some rivers, a large body of water, and then some kind of irrigation scheme.
You really want to know? I would imagine there might be more pressing concerns at the moment.
Winnie, Paimon really hopes everything's going okay. recognizes that look. You've got your ticket cap on, don't you, Traveler?
Oh, shoot. Are you alright? Oh, jeez. I'm so sorry. I was so focused on selling these papers, I wasn't looking where I was going. Well, let me make it up to you at least. Here, take this paper. On the house.
Oh, you don't have to give us anything.
Please, I want to. It's not like I'm short on supply. All the extras will be useless come tomorrow anyway. It's my fault, really. I was just trying to bring home some extra mora for the family, but I bit off more than I can chew. I haven't had many takers today, so I'm still swimming in papers.
What's going on here?
Nothing much. I just ran into your friend here on accident. I should probably get going, actually, so...
Hold on.
Of course, I'm happy to compensate you with mora, it's just... I don't have any on me at the moment.
I'll take 3 papers. Here. Your payment.
Oh! Thank you for your patronage. May the Archons bless you with good fortune. If only I had the chance to run into such generous customers every day. I should probably just take on a smaller inventory though, right? I'm getting married soon, so sometimes it's hard to not get ahead of myself. Anyway, I should head out. Goodbye!
Well, now that my affairs are settled, we should take the boat back to Poisson. We've even acquired some light reading to enjoy along the way.
Actually, why don't we stick around for a little longer? Paimon just realized how hungry she is. She can't head back to Poisson on an empty stomach.
It appears you two are under the impression that delaying our return will somehow alter the situation in your favor. I'm sorry to ruin your fantasy, but your efforts are meaningless. That being said, I could be persuaded to give Linny some extra time. I just have one condition. If you agree to my request, I'll even answer some of your questions. You're quite curious about Clairvy, are you not? And my relationship to her.
Wait, why are you being so generous all of a sudden? You're not gonna ask us to do something bad, are you?
You overestimate yourself. You don't have the talent for bad things.
Then what can you possibly...
The most important consideration in a negotiation is that both sides receive something they want. Demands and threats only get you so far. Wonderful. Here it is. When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
Okay, sounds normal enough. But what do you mean, when the time comes? When is that supposed to be?
That is for you to decide. Then we have a deal. Follow me.
I must leave no stone unturned. How about we explore the area ahead of us later? Great. I feel so relaxed all over. I could almost float away. Steady as stone, as a good knight should. Apologies. Please remain seated. Time for a light show. Wipe out! Water jet! Someone need... Please remain seated. Apologies. I'll catch up. Gout. Pardon me. Forgive my discourtesy. Next, the banquet is nearing its end. I wasn't cut out for this. What must go on? Water jet! Hold the line! A proper send-off! Let the show begin. As a dutiful maid would. Apologies. Watch out! Gout. Attack! Give my discourtesy. That's the way. Hiya! Rest and rebuild! Apologies. Watch out! Mine. I'll protect us. I must leave no stone unturned. Umbrella warfare, I guess. This one's got your name on it. Please remain seated. Allow me. Hey there! Watch out! Pardon me. Forgive my discourtesy. Leave it all to me, as a good knight should. Watch out! Let's dance. Banquet must go on. Look out! Coming at ya! Apologies. Covenant of the deep. Ready, steady, go! Please hold for just a moment. Forgive my prior inconsideration. consideration. Watch out! Hey there! Attack! Let the show begin. Rest and rebuild. Hey there! Oh, jeez. Give my discourtesy. Time to clean up. Pardon me. Look out. The banquet must go on. Coming at ya! Coming at ya! Let's dance. Hold the line. Forgive my prior inconsideration. Apologies. Please relax. Hey there! Hiya! Look out! Allow apologies. Me. I must leave no stone unturned. Attack! Pardon me. The banquet is nearing its end. Leave it all to me. Joyous time to rebuild. Billowing surge. I'll protect us. Watch out! Banquet must go on. There! Allow me. Coming at ya! That's not the proper send-up! From the Spina with love. As a good knight should. Steady as stone. Look out! Pardon me. Let the show begin. Rest and rebuild! Watch out! Please hold for just a moment. Give my prior inconsideration. Watch out! Just a little more. I must leave no stone unturned. Hold on. I'll protect us. Apologies. Pardon me. Gotcha. Attack! That's the way. Time to clean up. Leave it all to me. Torrent, bring refuge! Let's dance. A proper send-off from the Spina with love. Apologies. Banquet must go on. The banquet is near. Hey there! Joyous times are fleeting. Rest and rebuild. Watch out! I'll catch up. Steady as stone. Look out. Hold the line. Pardon me. Give my discourtesy. Hiya! Attack! Please hold for just a moment. As a good knight should. Forgive my prior inconsideration. Look out! Hey there! Hey there! Allow me! This must go on. Apologies. Come on! We can do it! Come at ya! Look out! the end. I still... What is this place?
Somewhere long forgotten by everyone. It used to be a grand building. Now it's nothing more than a pile of rubble. No one comes here anymore, nor does anyone care about what once happened here. Although, this place does have something to do with the story I'm about to tell you. It was before I became a harbinger, and before Lyney and the others joined the House of the Hearth. Due to certain events, I first killed Clairvy and then her mother. And this is where it all happened.
You were the one that killed Clairvy?
Patience now. Allow me to explain Clairvy's side of the story first. I'll start from the beginning. Clairvy was 6 years old when she was brought by her mother, Crucibina, to live in the House of the Hearth. From the outside, it seemed like a fairy tale. A thriving family made up of kind adults and friendly children. Crucibina was the knave at that time, and the House of the Hearth was under her control. She was Clairvy's mother by blood, but she was also the mother to all the children in the house. Clairvy was happy here, for a time. But she quickly realized that being part of this family wasn't a fairy tale at all. It was a kind of purgatory.
Purgatory?
Exactly. The House of the Hearth takes in war orphans from all over Teyvat. But as for how to raise them, that depends entirely on the person in charge. Crucibina came up with a novel idea. She would teach the children to fight, force them to duel each other, and then crown as the king of the house the child who proved themselves most worthy of inheriting her title. It's difficult to estimate the number of children who died or were maimed in the process. There's little I can say about the ones who died. The ones that emerged with permanent injuries, on the other hand, well, they still served a purpose. They would be handed over to the doctor to be experimented on, or sent away on dangerous missions. Nothing more than tools to be used and then discarded.
So those were the experiments Clairvy was talking about. But what actually happened to her? You said that Clairvy was Crucibina's daughter, so if Clairvy tried to convince her to stop what she was doing, Crucibina probably would have listened, right?
Despite being Clairvy's mother, Crucibina cared little for her daughter. She forced Clairvy to join the House of the Hearth only as a means to demonstrate her own impartiality as a mother, to prove that she treated all her children equally. Clairvy did try to convince her mother to change her ways, but it was to no avail. After her efforts failed, the only other option was to rise up and try to fight back. Unfortunately, the other children had already been thoroughly indoctrinated into the illusion of happiness Crucibina had created. Of course, there was one exception. Someone Clairvy's age who knew the truth about the House of the Hearth. Her name was Peruere.
Wait, the friend that Clairvy mentioned?
Friend, huh? I suppose we can call her that for now. Clairvy was a cheerful and passionate person with a tenacious spirit. Peruere, on the other hand, was rather cold-blooded. Her cold-blooded nature allowed her to see through Crucibina's facade. Yet, it was also this cold-bloodedness that prevented her from acting against it. At least at first. While Clairvy longed for freedom, Peruere was convinced that, amid all the fighting and violence, she would make it until the end. Despite their differences, the two became fast friends, united by their knowledge of the truth. Clairvy told Peruere that she hoped to create a real family, where no one would be killed or sacrificed. There may have been a certain naivete to her ideas, but Clairvy proved her determination many times over. She tried countless times to run away, ask for help, or expose the truth. But her efforts only earned her beating after beating. The only thing that kept her going was her strength of will. Even with her body racked with pain, she would still stand on her tiptoes and open the window at night. She and Peruere would look out at the moon together, a fierce longing for freedom shining in her eyes. But one day that light simply vanished.
Oh no. What happened?
Her hopelessness resulted from a culmination of things. 10 years had passed. 10 years worth of failure after failure. She and Peruere weren't children anymore, but finding any chance to escape still seemed as hopeless as ever. It was during this time that Peruere suggested a new plan. If escaping was out of the question, why not take down the very person sitting on top of this throne of lies? Mother herself. Clairvy rejected that proposal. She claimed that, as a famous harbinger, Crucibina possessed an unimaginable amount of power. Trying to kill her would have an incredibly low chance of success. Clairvy never gave another reason, but Peruere could see it written all over her face. Clairvy still thought of Crucibina as her mother. Killing her own flesh and blood was a line she couldn't bring herself to cross. If she couldn't escape and fight back, then only one option remained. Precisely. Death was the only way that she felt she could be free. It happened during a duel. When she arrived at the dueling ring that day, her partner turned out to be none other than Peruere, the very person that had stood by her side all those years. It was a fierce battle. But ultimately, Clairvy decided to let Peruere end her life. From that moment on, Peruere's journey was one written in flames. When the rain finally came and washed it all away, there she stood, the sole victor in Mother's endless game of slaughter. A trail of corpses strewn across her path to success. It was the very result she had predicted 10 years prior. Even then, she believed she would make it until the end. She wasn't surprised by the fact that she emerged as Mother's undisputed heir. Rather, her success left her with an inexplicable sense of restlessness. She was unsettled, and there was only one thing that could quell that sensation. Perhaps you two would like to take a guess.
Crucibina, you mean? But...
Correct. This is the place where Peruere killed her best friend. A mere year later, this is also the place where she fought tooth and nail to kill the mother they shared. The moment she acted, any conception of what was right or wrong ceased to matter. It's one of the principles of the house. Only those who survive get to write the rules. Peruere won the battle, and became a harbinger herself. After which Her Majesty, the Tsaritsa, bestowed upon her a new name. Arlecchino.
So the Perry Clairvy was talking about... It was you all along. You're Peruere. Arlecchino is just a name you got later.
I left that name behind long ago. I must say, hearing it now, does bring back memories. After I defeated Crucibina, the moniker of Mother died with her. I chose to forego the title she called herself and even chose to give up my own name. I rebuilt the House of the Hearth under a new identity. Not only as Arlecchino, but as father. And that is where the story ends. Any more questions?
Yeah. Based on what you just told us, Clairvy wasn't a little kid when she was killed. So the Clairvy we met... Was she really a spirit at all?
I suppose you could call her an illusion born of flame. Her existence is like ashes to a fire. Something left over in the wake of blaze and ruin. You see, a certain power runs through my veins. It's not unlike a curse. My flames leave behind shadows of anything they consume. Of course, the chances of those shadows morphing into a sentient entity are exceedingly slim. Clairvy is a very special case. Clairvy died when she was 16 years old, but what emerged from the flames was her 6-year-old self. Her appearance wasn't the only thing affected. Most of her memories were lost to the blaze as well. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self. Lose 10 years' worth, however, and it would be like living in the past. Like returning to a version of yourself that never grew up.
No wonder Paimon got such a weird feeling when we were talking to her.
Perhaps I should put it this way. Clairvy is someone trapped in time. It may seem like she exists with us in the present, but she truly lives in the confines of her own past.
So if all of that is true, then you must have known about Clairvy for a long time.
Indeed. She's a rather volatile and unstable entity. Sometimes she would look after the children. She's even saved some of their lives. But other times, she would hide from me and become obsessed with revealing the truth about the house to anyone who will listen. Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time. Your attempts to expose Clairvy to sunlight. They failed, yes? The reason is actually quite simple. In Clairvy's mind, the house is impossible to escape, and it is this very perception that traps her there. But no matter. All I have to do is kill her again, and all will be resolved. I don't anticipate so much as a single speck of ash will be left behind this time.
Wait! Paimon can understand why you might want her gone, but isn't there another way? So what if she's trapped in her 6-year-old self? She's still your friend! At least talk to her first!
It's too late for that. She broke the rules, and now she must be punished. That goes for Filial and Nantoy as well. She's had quite the effect on them. I hope you understand the difference between Crucibina and myself lies in our formulation of the rules, not our policy for enforcing them. Upholding the rules without question is a trait we both share, because that is how a household should be run.
Is this really what you want to do?
Whatever could you mean?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Whether as a killer or as a father, there are two things that must be avoided at all costs: anger and sorrow. Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver. Well, it appears it's about time to proceed. Before we arrived, I told some of my well-behaved children to bring our troublemakers here by nightfall. I do believe I've kept my end of the deal. I gave your friends quite a bit more time. As for what happens now, we'll just have to wait and see.
Here they are, Father.
Oh, you gonna execute him? Seeing something like that would actually be a first for me. Lenny!
I'm sorry. I heard about how you helped buy us more time. But I still failed. I couldn't find a way to fulfill her wish.
Huh? Are you... Perry?
Indeed, it's been a while, Clairvy.
Perry!
Shh, stay right there. I'm sorry to postpone our reunion, but first, I believe certain scores need settling.
Father, let me explain.
Out of my way.
Father!
You chose to conceal a threat to the house, and for that, you must be punished. Overall, however, I suppose your wrongdoing is hardly the most egregious of the bunch, so I'll deal with your punishments later. As for right now, the more pressing concerns are the traitors among us.
By traitors? Do you mean us?
Father, let me explain. We didn't mean to...
Fultz, why don't you share what you heard?
Yes, Father. Secret Midnight Meeting number 3. Participants, Filial, Nantoi, Sato, Toddy. Nantoi clearly said, if only Father wasn't the one who took us in. Sato added, I'm sick of this life. I just want to live as a normal person. Filial was the worst of them all. She called us crazies and said a bunch of mean things about Father.
I did not! You're lying! Fultz is trying to frame us!
It's not like I'm the only one who heard those things. After that, you and Toddy and a bunch of other people started talking about Clairvy. You were using all those things Clairvy brought up as an excuse to question Father. We're birds locked in a cage. The only way out is to destroy it. That's what you said, wasn't it?
You little... You just want me gone, don't you? What did I ever do to you, huh? And you, Sheplo, have you forgotten who stood by your sickbed, watched over you, and changed your dressings? Come on, let's hear it then. What's your reason for all this?
You're wrong, Filial. We don't want you to die. You're our family.
Liar. You wouldn't be doing this if that were the case. So why? Why have you backed us into a corner?
We all live in the House of the Hearth. You know the type of work we do, Filial. A single betrayal can cost dozens of us our lives. It's not like it's never happened before. That kind of thing is hard to forget. That's why the House of the Hearth cannot tolerate any form of betrayal. Ever since we came to Poisson, you've had 7 secret meetings. A lot of the things you talked about really crossed the line.
You've been spying on us for half a month? Wait a second. Now that I think about it, the move to Poisson was just a way to make it easier to spy on us, wasn't it? Because we were all in one place. You've had this planned all along.
Filial, Nantoi, I'm sorry. I owe you both my life. I owe Clairvy too. If it weren't for all your help after I got poisoned, I wouldn't be standing here today. If this were any other situation, I would do anything to repay that kindness, even if it cost me my life. But rules are rules. I'm sorry. My hands are tied.
Why? Why?
That's enough, Filial. We made a mistake, and we should own up to it. We broke the rules, plain and simple. And now we have to face the consequences. I'm sorry, Chapleau. Fultz. I'm sorry, Father. We accept
our punishment.
Chaplot, according to the rules of the House of the Hearth, how should these traitors be punished?
All those who betray the house pay with their lives.
And so it shall be.
Father, please wait!
Something you want to say, Linny?
Please reconsider, Father. What Filial and the others did, does it really count as betrayal? We all come from broken families. From the very first day we joined the House of the Hearth, we wanted nothing more than to make it a real home. But the truth is, none of us know what a real home should look like. I'm not saying I have all the answers. All I know is this. Killing Filial and the others may uphold the rules, but doing so will only bring us further away from being a real family than we've ever been. So please, Father, please reconsider.
I agree with Linny.
Father, please. Linny, you... I also agree with Linny.
An order once given cannot be rescinded. However, given the extent of your determination, I suppose we shall have to go about this a different way. Draw your weapons and face me.
Our weapons?
Father, are you referring to a duel?
Precisely. The rules of the house will not be altered. Traitors must be punished. However, resolving disputes with a duel is also one of our rules, one that also applies to me. Demonstrate a sufficient showing of strength, and I shall offer a concession.
Wait. Beat Father in a duel?
Impossible. Father is way too strong, even for Linny.
Did you hear that, Traveler? Lenny and the others have to duel the knave. What should we do? Can they really win something like that? If they lose, those people from the house are really gonna be executed. Hey, are you listening?
Don't you want to say a proper goodbye at least?
Anger makes you impulsive. Sorrow causes you to waver.
Oh, looking at that expression on her face, she seems really serious about this. Guess that means there's no chance she's throwing the duel on purpose, huh?
When guests are around, families are often on their best behavior. And any disputes are less likely to escalate.
When the time comes, make the choice that you deem most appropriate in the situation, and lend your help to the House of the Hearth.
What's wrong, Traveler? Hey, where are you going?
Traveler?
You're asking to join the duel against the knave?
I'll allow it. We do have a ready-made dueling ring at our disposal, after all. All I would advise is this. Keep a firm grasp on your weapon, and give it your all. Any less, and you may just lose your life. Closer now. With these rising flames. Is it my turn now?
Are you all right?
Now that's more like it. With these rising flames.
Get in gear!
Closer now.
Delicate as silk.
Now's our chance!
Spare your energy. Running is of little use. Have a taste of purgatory.
Are you all right?
Leave it all to me.
Is it my turn now? Closer now.
Fuse is lit.
I really have to draw my blade. Then...
Like a fly tangled in a web.
Is that all? Oh, never.
With the reset to feet. How amusing.
Watch out for Father's movements!
Is it my turn now?
Away!
Hang in there.
Is it my turn now?
Look out!
How amusing.
I'll catch up.
And voila!
Fly tangled in a web. Spare your energy. Running is of little use. With these rising flames.
Here come the fireworks! As a dutiful maid would. Steady as stone.
Over here.
Not bad. You've proven to be a worthy opponent after all. Is it my turn now?
Try to pace yourself.
Kindness has been seared away. My
I must
blade
leave
is
no
all that
stone
remains.
Now's our chance!
Over here. Water jet.
Your punishment Made manifest!
Watch out for Father's movements! Look out!
The sun and moon have set. Only ruin remains.
Now's our chance!
Over here!
Extinguished.
Watch out for Father's movements! Look out!
Steady as stone. As a good night should. Fire hazard! A festival! Over here!
Now's our chance!
It's only the beginning. You should know better than to crowd in one place.
Oh, I know.
I'm sorry, Father!
Sorry for what? This pitiful excuse for an attack.
Father, no!
Made it out, did you? You're stronger than I expected.
A crimson moon. I can't move.
Still, not strong enough to beat me. I believe we can end things here. It's not often that we get to enjoy the company of guests, after all. We wouldn't want things to get too out of hand.
Brother, are you alright?
Linny,
Given that I am the victor of this duel, as agreed, the punishment stands.
No!
I never thought things would end like this.
However, everyone involved in the duel demonstrated a remarkable level of strength and determination. In light of this, I'm prepared to change the method of execution. Elwar, the bottled flames I gave you for safekeeping. Do you still have them?
Yes? I wasn't sure what they were for, but I've kept them super safe. I didn't lose a single one.
Wonderful. Then, in just a moment, I'll have you administer them.
Bottled flames?
Indeed. They're the product of a secret experiment. Under certain special circumstances, flames can be extracted from my person and preserved. Once ingested, searing pain will spread across every inch of your body. No harm will come to you physically, but your memories will be burned away. If you can withstand the pain. When you awake, you'll have forgotten everything you know about the House of the Hearth, and will be expelled from the organization. In other words, administering this concoction will kill the version of you that grew up in the house, and give you a new identity. Memory is a mysterious thing indeed. Losing a portion of your memories will alter your sense of self.
So, you're just letting us go, Father?
You misunderstand. Memories are extremely important. Once consumed by flame, the version of you standing before me will die, and our secrets will die with you. So no, I don't intend to just let you go, because the person who survives will be nothing but a stranger.
Even so, I won't have to live in fear anymore. I'm sorry, Father. I'm sorry I let you down. But I really...
Don't cry, Filial. You haven't left the house yet, so there are still rules to be followed, yes? Remember what I taught you. Anger makes you impulsive, sorrow causes you to waver. Don't let yourself be controlled by your emotions.
Of course. I'll remember.
Dry your tears, and go pursue the life you really want.
Yes, Father.
Chaplot, Foltz, Elwar. Take them back to Poisson. And bring Linny and the others as well. I prepared 3 extra vials of bottled flames. As for whether to take them, the choice is yours. Goodbye, children. The next time we meet, I will no longer be your father. Thank you for all you've done for the house. I hope you have bright futures ahead of you.
Father.
Let's go.
Here, grab my arm, Linny. I'll help you walk back.
Thank you.
Clairvy.
Can we talk now? I've been waiting for a super long time. You really are Perry, aren't you? I haven't seen you in so long. How come you're all grown up? Wait, did I somehow travel to the future on accident? Or am I dreaming? What a long dream.
Neither. You died, Clairvy. That's what happened.
You could have at least sugarcoated it a little. Look, she's so speechless. Oh. Okay then. Huh? That's it? You accepted it just like that? Yep. If that's what Perry says happened, then I believe her. Perry wouldn't lie to me. Plus, I don't really need to know why I'm like this. I'm more curious about what happens in the future. If you're a harbinger now, Perry, that means Mother is gone, isn't she? Can you tell me about it? I want to know what happened to her. And to me.
You never stopped trying to defy fate. At first, no one believed you. You could only vent your frustrations to the moon. In fact, you often sought comfort in the night sky. You wanted to see the aurora, so one night we promised each other we would go to Snezhnaya to see it together. Later on, you tried to run away, but you were brought back each time. Mother spared your life, but it wasn't out of kindness. Instead, she decided to make an example of you by slowly torturing you over time. That way, the other children would know what happens to traitors. Still, you never gave up. Mother hoped that through ruthless duel after ruthless duel, she would be able to crown an ultimate victor among the children she raised. But you called on everyone to unite, to fight to a draw in order to reduce casualties. Your efforts may have only delayed the inevitable, but still. You gave them hope. You tried everything you could think of, but every attempt ended in failure. Still, you never turned your sword on Crucibina, and you never turned it on me. On that gloomy day, you told me, "For the last 16 years of my life, I've done everything I can to fight for freedom. But now, I realize that the only freedom I truly possess is the freedom to choose to die."
I never imagined I would say something like that. I must have been feeling really worn down. But somehow, I still think I understand. According to Mother's plan, only one of us was going to make it until the end. And I always hoped that person would be you. If I could do it all over again, I still don't think I would make a different choice. Even when I first met you, I knew you'd be able to do what I couldn't.
Is that so? Even now, I'm not sure I truly understand what kind of freedom you were trying to pursue. But as the head of the House of the Hearth and as the children's father, I've tried to give them the most basic of freedoms. The freedom to choose their own fate. It's something I discussed with the Eudex of Fontaine. The children who want to leave the house will have their memories wiped clean of all secrets pertaining to the organization. In return, they will be allowed to live a normal life in Fontaine without being prosecuted for their past. Of course, I won't simply hand freedom to them on a silver platter. They have to fight for it and prove themselves worthy of it. Only freedom that is earned has true value.
That's more than enough. That's exactly the kind of life I was fighting for. You know, Perry, I think you're a pretty amazing king, and a really great father, too. I'm really happy that you're the one who took over the house. I guess I do have one regret, though. I still haven't seen the outside world.
Well, it just so happens that our dear guests over here have been to many nations and traveled to countless places. Perhaps they would be willing to tell you what the outside world is like.
Really?
Of course! We've traveled all over the place. We've got so many stories, we could probably talk your ears out for 3 days straight!
You know, I used to dream of being a bard. Playing the lute while singing into the winds of freedom. Even if there was no one there to listen, I would have continued to sing no matter what. Ah, that's where Mora comes from. I never knew that before. If I had some Mora, I would buy 3 new dresses. One for me, one for Perry, and one for Mother. It's just too bad Perry doesn't like wearing dresses. And Mother, well, she probably wouldn't accept something like that either. I guess I'd just have to keep them all for me then. I could wear a different one every day. Those yokai you mentioned, what do they look like? I once saw a drawing of this one guy with horns on his head and a super scary face. Are there any yokai like that? Oh, sounds like you're talking about an Oni. Yep, we've met one, and let Paimon tell you, they're not nearly as scary as they look. I was always too afraid to skip Mother's fighting lessons. But at the academia, I bet you could do all sorts of secret things in class. Things that have nothing to do with studying. I'm just kidding. Being able to study whatever you want without having to fear for your life actually sounds pretty great. The situation was super dangerous. Lenny and Lynette were accused of committing a crime, and they were going to have to stand trial at the Opera Epicles. Oh no, that must have been hard for all of you. What happened next? Don't worry, we were able to turn the situation around super quickly, all thanks to Detective Paimon, of course. How'd you do that? Come on, tell me. Okay, so it was like this. After the failed magic show, we rushed to the scene and...
Shadows don't have the capacity to learn or grow. Any new information they encounter is quickly forgotten over time. Clairvy, you've worked tirelessly from the shadows to overthrow the House of the Hearth. Now, by my authority as the Knave, I shall announce how this matter ends. You are hereby expelled from the House of the Hearth. You are no longer tied to this place, nor are you bound by its rules.
You're saying that I can finally leave? I get to experience the outside world as well? Oh, I almost forgot. There's no getting older for me. Still, seeing who you grew up to be makes me really happy, Parallel. Take care of yourself. Goodbye.
May we meet again someday.
Clairvy. She left so soon. Paimon didn't even get to finish her story.
I also have certain sentiments left unsaid. I wanted to tell her that the aurora I saw in Snezhnaya was just as beautiful as the ones in the pictures. But a shadow's memories reset at dawn. Had we delayed any longer, we wouldn't have had the time to say goodbye. Whatever regrets may linger, let them be lost to the coming of a new day.
Father?
It's Linny! Hey, Linny! What is he doing back here? Let's go check it out.
Father, the bottled flames have been administered. Filio and the others have left the house.
And you? What have you decided?
Thank you for giving us that choice, Father. But we never wanted to leave the house. It's the only home we've ever known. Lynette and Fremine feel the same way. They're recuperating back at the Hotel Bouffe Tété. But I decided to come back and tell you where we stood.
I'm sure you're well aware of the expectations I have for you. I want you to follow in my footsteps and become the next king of the house. Yet you seem to have different ideas. I must admit, I'm rather surprised by your decision to stay. There's nothing wrong with choosing to live a quiet life. Leading this organization is a heavy responsibility, one not so easily carried by someone forced onto the throne.
I just never understood what you saw in me. What made you believe I was deserving of that throne?
You're brave, talented, and, most importantly, you cherish your family. You would do anything to protect them, even if it costs you your life.
Speaking up back there was so brave of you, Linny. It's all thanks to you that we were able to convince Father to back down.
You're a hero, Linny.
Hero. Father is the real hero. Had Father gone all out during the duel, there's no way I would have walked away with my life. She must have had it all planned from the beginning, from the very moment she suggested a duel. I'm not deserving of that title. I'm not strong enough or smart enough.
You're wrong. In my opinion, all you need to be deserving of the throne is conviction and the necessary strength to act on it. We may have different ideas of what it means to be a family, but you can hardly be said to lack conviction. What you truly lack is strength. For someone of your talent, though, that's something that will come with time. Even without that strength, you still chose to face me in a duel, even though the odds were stacked against you. That capacity to honor your convictions is what I truly see in you.
Father.
No one knows what the future holds, what tragedy or triumph may be in store. Being at the head of this organization requires the strength of will to face whatever comes. Caution will only hold you back. If reaching a certain standard were required to go after what you want, I would never have succeeded in killing my predecessor. Back then, there was still a considerable gap between our abilities. Strength may decide the ultimate victor, but those who let a lack of strength dictate their decisions or undermine their convictions will never be worthy of the throne.
I understand, Father. Thank you.
Children must grow up to surpass their parents. Only then can a family continue to flourish. The road ahead is not an easy one. So I'll ask you one last time. Are you certain you want to stay?
You've done so much for me, Father, and that kindness must be repaid. Plus, with Project Stuja at hand, there are many dangers ahead, and I, for one, don't intend to back down. Protecting my family at all costs. That's...
Then you're welcome to stay. As for Project Stuja, you need not be too concerned. If those cowardly businessmen and heartless dignitaries try to take us down, I'm prepared to teach them a lesson. Having members who longed for the light was our organization's last weakness. With those members no longer among our ranks, the House of the Hearth is like a spider hiding in the shadows. We need only wait for our prey to come to us. At present, our imperative is to use their plan to our advantage. In doing so, a crimson moon shall rise amid the frigid blizzards of winter. No demonstration of loyalty shall go unrewarded, and no sacrifice shall be in vain. As for the two of you, whether we meet again as friend or foe, I'll remember the camaraderie we shared in this moment. No matter how arduous the journey ahead, I hope we both reach our desired destination.
It's up to me to decide who I want to be, and to cut my own path. No one can tell me what to do. If you really like standing around like this, then why don't you just model for me? I'll design some wonderful clothes for you. It's up to me to decide who I want to be, and to cut my own path. No one can tell me what to do.
Didn't Linny say that Lynette and Fremine were recovering at the Hotel Bouffe d'été? Oh, Paimon wonders how they're doing. Lynette, Fremine, how are you feeling?
Much better.
Whew, what a relief!
What about you? Are you feeling alright?
I knew you'd come out unscathed. Us, on the other hand, well, we've been bedridden for 2 days. I couldn't even turn over. Oh, and I wanted to ask, is Clairvy gone? Linny and the other members have left Poisson and returned to the House of the Hearth. According to him, there haven't been any more sightings of a spirit roaming the house.
I see.
I'm glad. Father came to check up on us 2 days ago and told us about what happened with Crusabina and Clairvy. Actually, I've met Crusabina before.
Wait, what? You've met the former knave?
Crusabina died a year after Clairvy. It was during the year between their deaths that I joined the House of the Hearth. Crusabina had an extremely cruel and radical way of doing things. While she was alive, the atmosphere in the house was suffocating. When I joined, though, the experiment she valued so much had already come to an end, and all the people involved, dead and injured alike, were gone. Crusabina never talked about the past with us newcomers. A couple of months after I joined, Father killed Crusabina and burned all her files. With that, the names of all the people subjected to her experiments, Clairvy included, were lost to the flames, along with the painful memories they represented.
Father took in Linny and me a couple months after that, but she never mentioned anything about Crusabina or Clairvy.
It really seems like something she was planning to keep to herself. The last time you talked to her, did she mention why she kept it a secret for so long?
She said she didn't want us to be affected by the darkness of the past. She was worried we'd develop a false sense of gratitude towards her if we knew about it. The foundation of a family should be free of any corrupting influence. Whatever happened in the past, it has nothing to do with who we are now. And that's what Father told us in the end.
But I still thanked her for everything. It was only after hearing about what Crusabina did that I finally realized how insignificant our lives could have been. The members of the house meant nothing to her. To say that she valued them in any way, even just as a tool, would probably be giving her too much credit. If Father hadn't taken over the House of the Hearth, I probably would have already...
Father rarely brings up the fact that she saved us. She doesn't believe that being indebted to her should be what ties us together. But even if we didn't owe her anything, we would still choose to stay. Because this is our home. We may have arguments or times when we feel wronged. Some people may even choose to leave. But as long as Father is here, we will always have a home.
Whether the path before us is bathed in sunlight or shrouded in shadow, we'll follow Father wherever she chooses to go. So I wanted to say thank you for helping us make it through this crisis. Without your help, we could have lost a lot more along the way.
Oh, we didn't do anything, really.
Of course, you're welcome anytime.
Are Filial and Nantoy okay?
I actually saw them at a cafe this morning. They didn't recognize me. From what I could tell, they were drinking coffee and talking about one of the operas that started running recently. They seemed happy. If I had to take a guess, I would say they finally found the kind of life they always wished for.
By the way, we really are just going to talk, right?
Of course. I wouldn't do anything to one of my business partners, especially when a reasonable conversation should suffice.
Who is it?
Venger, it's Chiori. We've worked together all these years. The least you could do is allow me a face-to-face conversation.
Straightforward as always, I see. You know, there are certain conventions people usually follow if they want to seek someone's company. Sending a messenger, for example.
And when has following convention ever gotten me anywhere? Why hire a messenger when I can just explain things in person?
Have you read the papers today?
I don't like to waste my time on baseless lies and speculation. Maybe that's something you should consider as well.
You're right. I only subscribe to the Steambird. And most days I never even read the others.
So, these rumors. The Steambird was the one that published them?
No, not at all. They were in some second-rate fashion tabloids.
Well then, there you go. Those sort of headlines become old news faster than you can read them. Surely a bit of tabloid drama isn't worth cutting off my supply.
You would think that. But this time is different. Someone paid off the tabloids to publish the same article at once. They even went so far as to leave a copy in front of every house. That's how I first learned of the rumors.
Every house? That means someone must have been planning this for a very long time.
It seems your rival really pulled out all the stops this time, Chiori. The article was even published alongside a photo of you.
What sort of photo?
A photo of you beating up someone on the street yesterday.
Yesterday? Wait, that means...
Ucher again.
Here, I've got a copy. See for yourselves.
means the true Chiori boutique takes shape. Not a fashion house, but a house of lies. Relying on its close ties to the criminal underworld, the Chiori brand employs illegal competitive tactics to come out on top, giving hope to the evildoers among us that wrongdoing can still prevail, provided you conceal it under the guise of fashion and beauty.
I don't know what happened, and I don't want to comment on things that I didn't see with my own eyes. Still, that photo shows you to be the clear aggressor.
Yeah, he was the one who started it, that little...
I appreciate you standing up for me, Paimon, but it can't be helped now.
That's right. The court of public opinion has already made up its mind. Still, I've got to give your rival high marks for effort. They even dug up the fact that my father once served time in the fortress of Meripede.
But that was so long ago.
In the world of fashion, your past is like a piece of clothing stained with mud. Once tainted, it can never be washed clean. They claim that most of your clientele are criminals and that those who buy your clothes are just like you. People who silence all dissent with violence.
The absurdity. I don't even know which part to laugh at the most.
Well, it's no laughing matter. Maybe your clientele are criminals. Maybe they're not. There's even the possibility that they're just people who happen to commit crimes after buying your clothes. But with the way this article combines fact with rumor, trying to determine the truth is practically an exercise of futility. It's not something people are just going to forget about in a day or two, especially when they've found several people to back up their claims.
Venger, are you sure you won't reconsider? If we go through with the show together, we can defeat them fair and square.
If I were younger, I might have said yes. But I'm no longer that brave young man with nothing to lose. I've got the family business to consider now. I'd be perfectly happy to work with you again after this, but my daughter is manning the store during Fashion Week, and I don't want her implicated in all of this. She doesn't deserve to be swarmed by all that negative publicity.
I understand.
Let me offer you a piece of advice, Chiori. For old time's sake. Let this Fashion Week go. There's always next year. You just need to wait for all of this to blow over.
You're free to wait things out, Venger. I'll make my own choices.
Have you ever thought maybe that attitude of yours is what's gotten you into all this trouble?
Have you ever thought maybe this attitude of mine is precisely what paved the way for my success?
Well, fair enough. Then I suppose all there's left to say is, best of luck. As for the models, none of them wanted to be implicated in all of this either.
Understood. Take care.
So, what should we do now?
Without the accessories, I can no longer use my old designs.
How could they do this? They're making things up. The boutique doesn't have anything to do with violent criminals. Can't people tell this is just a bunch of lies?
Public opinion has never been about what's true and what's not. It's about echoing the loudest voice in the room. I should have seen it from the beginning. Uter knows me too well. Everything that happened yesterday was just a trap.
Well, guess all we can do is just head back for now.
Traveler! Paimon!
Charlotte, what are you doing here?
Looking for you, of course. Did you see those fashion tabloids this morning?
You mean that sorry excuse for an article? Oh, just thinking about it makes Paimon's blood boil.
You too, huh? Whoever wrote that article must have known the Steambird would never print something so defamatory. Unfortunately, not all papers in Fontaine share our same sense of journalistic integrity.
Miss Chiori doesn't deserve to suffer all this baseless slander. I was just about to find some people to interview so that I can write an article to refute all those claims. If there's one thing I can't stand, it's people who misrepresent and distort the facts.
That's great! With your help, we might be able to get some people back on our side!
It's my pleasure. I've met Miss Chiori several times. I know she's not the kind of person that article makes her out to be. She was the one who made the hat and tie for my camera, Monsieur Verite. Speaking of Miss Chiori, do you know where she went? Olaf told me you were all together.
She was just here. Maybe she went over there? Let's go check!
If you ask me, I think Chiori Boutique is done for.
I mean, what did they expect? Engaging with criminals behind their customers' backs.
They kept up a solid front, though. I've even bought from them before.
Really? How was it?
The owner was plenty fierce, that's for sure. Makes sense if she regularly deals with criminals, I guess. I've got the chills just think.
Oh no, we've lost her! Did you hear what all those people were saying?
Miss Chiori doesn't often appear in public or give a lot of interviews, so the general public hasn't had a chance to really get to know her. It's also true that her way of dealing with things can be a little extreme sometimes.
Oh, this is all Tear's fault! Wait a second. You don't think Chiori might have gone looking for him, do you? You know, so she can, finish what she's...
That would only make the situation worse for her. I'm sure Miss Chiori knows that too.
You've got a point. Let's just return to the boutique and see if she's there then. Olaf, we're back! Oh, who's this?
This is Miss Letitia. She's also here to see Miss Chiori.
Oh, you were the one who came to collect the wedding dress yesterday, right? Wait, please don't say you're returning that dress too.
Oh, no, not at all. I'm just here to thank her. In fact, if there's anything I can do to help her out, I'd be more than willing.
Ah, so you've come across that article as well.
Yeah, you probably don't know this. But after I got engaged, I didn't think I'd be able to wear a Chiori dress on my wedding day.
Why?
My fiancé owns a small business. It doesn't bring in a lot of mora, but we get by. After he proposed, he took me to Chiori Boutique, and we put down a custom order for a dress. He probably noticed how often I talked about Miss Chiori's clothes and how pretty they were. Being able to wear one of her dresses to my wedding has always been my dream.
And then?
And then, something happened to the business, and we ran into major mora problems. We were able to scrounge up enough to pay off our debts, but it left us without the funds to pay for the dress.
But didn't Chiori say she was able to make the dress from what was left of the original deposit?
Yes. When I came to cancel the order, she asked if something happened, and I told her everything. She heard me out, and then told me not to worry. She assured me that the deposit I paid would be enough for the dress, and that she'd be able to finish making it in time as well. She promised that I'd be able to wear a Chiori dress on my wedding day.
Well, that's a good thing, isn't it? I've always known Miss Chiori to be a woman of her word.
It is good. It's just, after I went home yesterday, I couldn't help but take out the dress and try it on. My fiancé happened to walk into the room, and And when he saw me, he froze on the spot.
Ah, what a shame. He's not supposed to see it until the wedding day.
Well, see, that wasn't actually the issue. He's seen a lot of wedding dresses in his time doing business. So as soon as he saw it, he knew for sure that it must have cost far more than what we paid.
Huh? So wait, that means...
Yeah. Miss Chiori covered all the costs and held nothing back. The fabric, accessories, beading, construction. It was all of the highest quality.
Miss Letitia, I'd really like to use your story for a piece I'm writing about the boutique. Would you mind going on the record?
Huh? Well, if it would help Miss Chiori out, I wouldn't mind at all.
I think it'd go a long way. Your real experience is more powerful than all those lies combined.
Hey, Olaf! Has Chiori come back here since we left?
Huh? I thought you were all together.
Well, we were. Is she...
Oh, I remember now. There's this one cliff by the sea. Miss Chiori would always go there whenever she was upset.
In that case, why don't we split up? I'll continue interviewing Miss Letitia, and you two can go look for Miss Chiori.
All right, sounds good. Let's go!
Time for a light show!
Chiori?
Uh-huh. How did you know where I... Alof told you, didn't she?
She did. We were just looking for you at the shop and Letitia was there. She wanted to thank you for the dress. So, you see? You don't have to be sad. We'll figure out how to get through this together.
I'm not upset. I just wanted to get some fresh air. Want to sit here with me? The view's quite stunning. Sorry about that. I'm the only one here most of the time.
All right, don't mind if we do.
Well, how does it feel?
This place is pretty great.
Right? It's quiet and open, and far from the relentless critique from fashion commentators and the media. It's just you and the beautiful scenery.
Yeah, it's important to take yourself out of that kind of stressful environment every once in a while.
I didn't grow up in a very strict family. My parents would joke that I grew up to be so assertive because they spoiled me as a child. I would get together with the other children to climb trees and explore caves. One time, I even climbed over the walls of the Kamisato estate. One of the
Whoa, Paimon would have never imagined that!
But even as rambunctious as I was, when it came to needlework, I was as quiet and focused as could be. It was as if I discovered a whole new world within those vibrant, dazzling fabrics. You know the feeling?
Sorta.
My parents noticed, and they sent me to study under a famous Inazuman tailor. It wasn't long before I had driven away pretty much every master tailor on the archipelago. You could say I really tried their patience.
You were that misbehaved?
I wasn't misbehaved, exactly. I just often had strange ideas when it came to fashion. Ones that weren't in line with traditional ways of doing things. On top of that, I hated the idea of groveling and making outfits for every arrogant big shot expecting me to be at their beck and call. Anyway, a few incidents later, I soon found myself without a master. Worse, not one shop was willing to hire me. Not even to do grunt work.
No wonder you left Inazuma.
I was angry and frustrated. So, before I left, I swore to all those masters that my brand would one day become renowned all over Teyvat.
Well, that's a great dream to strive towards.
After that, I came all the way to the court of Fontaine, a city often referred to as the capital of arts and fashion. I had a lot of fun starting out. Sure, I was living in a small cramped room, but I was finally free to make whatever I wanted. I had a far more naive view of fashion back then. As long as something was pretty, it would become popular, right? A simple concept, surely. Of course, as I spent more and more time in the industry, I learned nothing was ever that simple. Oh, you mean Letitia? Yeah, she did mention that dream. I'll be honest with you. That's the first time I ever heard something like that from one of my customers. Who would have thought? Even as I continue to pursue my dream, my work has also become someone else's. All right, that's enough sightseeing for one day. Time to come up with a way out of this mess.
Ooh, looks like you've got your game face back!
Back? It was never gone to begin with. I did say I wasn't upset, didn't I?
Paimon thinks we should look for evidence that Uter wrote that article, and that he hired those treasure hoarders to attack Kirara. Charlotte's already working on an article to address all those nasty rumors so we can publish all our findings in the Steambird once we're done.
I don't like duking it out in the press. But if Charlotte's thrown her hat in the ring, I won't stop her either. I know where Uter's clothing factory is located. It might be a good place to start looking for some evidence.
Sounds good. We'll come with. As for Fashion Week, well, there's always next year, right? So there's no need to be too upset.
Huh? When did this become an either-or situation? Find incriminating evidence or participate in Fashion Week. I'm doing both.
But your accessories! Didn't you say your designs were unusable without them?
Well, it's true that I haven't quite figured out what to do about that, but to tell you the truth, even here in Fontaine, every time I see the sea, I can't help but remember Inazuma and the vow I made in front of those masters. Thinking about all that, I just can't bear to take even one step back.
What did you...
The sea. Seashells, coral. I've got it.
Got what?
Come, let's take a dip, shall we?
Chiori! Wait, hold up!
Paimon, what do you think is the most beautiful thing in the sea?
A Lumitoile? Or a pearl, maybe? Oh, coral's pretty too. Ah, Paimon gets it now! You want to use things like that as the accessories for your designs!
Well, now that you hit the nail on the head, help me grab some, would you?
Leave it to us! Enough, right? Paimon picked all the prettiest ones in this area. Chiori, will these do? Great! So are we gonna head back now and make some—
Yes, but don't forget. Okay, we've got the materials for the accessories. Next, we'll need to use what we have on hand to create some new outfits.
You mean we have to start from scratch? Will there be—
I should be able to make it.
Oh no, skipping out on sleep is not the answer. Wait, how come this conversation is giving Paimon major— Well, anyway, sleep is important.
Well, I can't argue with you there. All this grit and determination. It reminds me of the first fashion week I ever participated in.
What else can we help with?
Let me see. I suppose all there's left to do is tear—
You got it! Wait, what did—
You heard me. Tear them all up. When I went to that first fashion week, I had to make something work, so I tore up all the clothes that I brought with me from Inazuma, and I used the scraps to make— If it worked back then, why not now?
But you worked so hard on all these outfits!
I know. That's why I refuse to let it all go to waste.
Okay.
No need to be nervous. I won't hold it against you. Of course, if anyone dared to tear up one of my dresses in front of me on a normal day— Just this once, though. I think I can make an exception. Go ahead and tear them up. Think of it as a good way to vent your emotions. Good job. That should do it.
Chiori, are you alright? Sorry for taking so long. I got caught up and— Whoa. What happened to your shop? Who did this? Those monsters. Slandering you in the papers wasn't enough for them, was it? They even sent people to wreck your shop. Give me their names. Since they're all too eager to tear up other people's clothes, I think it's about time the Spina di Rosula return the favor.
Maybe you should calm down a bit first, 'cause you see,
Ugh, what is this, a soap opera? I was the one who asked the traveler to tear up the outfits. We need all the fabric and accessories we can get.
Oh, so that's what happened. I guess I got a bit ahead of myself just now. Back to what you were doing, everyone. You can all just pretend like I didn't say anything.
Navia sure is scary when she's angry.
If there's one thing I can't stand, it's a false accusation. No one's gonna orchestrate some conspiracy to take down one of my friends and get away with it.
You and Chiori are really close.
Of course! Everyone knows that Chiori makes the most gorgeous outfits in town. All of the Spina di Rosula's formal wear is custom tailored here.
Now, if only you'd give me the contract for your uniforms as well.
As if you'd enjoy designing something as boring and formulaic as a uniform. That's why I didn't ask you in the first place, silly. Plus, with how much your intel has helped us out in the past, to the Spina, you're more of an intelligence agency than a fashion boutique.
If I had it my way, it would be the other way around.
Anyway, we both know why I'm here. Tell me, how can the Spina be of service to you?
If it's not too much trouble, can I borrow some skilled hands to help with some simple sewing work? I'll need all the help I can get if I'm going to finish these outfits over the next few days.
Oh, no problem. I've got a few of those guys all ready to go. I just knew you wouldn't be intimidated into withdrawing from this year's show. When are you going to get started? I can help with sewing too.
Actually, there's something else I'd like to ask of you.
Ask away. I'm all ears.
Oh, and Traveler and Paimon, could you help me pass word to Linny and Lynette? I'll need their help as well.
I'm done with my interview. Has Miss Chiori made it back yet?
Oh! What happened to the boutique?
Who did this? Give me names. I'll make sure every last one lands a full feature on the front page of the Steambird tomorrow.
Not this again.
What should we do about these clothes?
Sort them by the type of fabric first, and then by color.
That sounds pretty straightforward. I'll help too.
What should we do?
Sort them by the
That sounds pretty straightforward.
What should we do?
Sort them by the
That sounds pretty straight. You're both here!
A moment later and you'd have missed us.
We read the article in the papers. We were just about to go find Miss Chiori. She helped design a number of our costumes in the past and even sponsored one of our performances.
Oh, perfect! She was the one who sent us!
In that case, I assume that there's something we can do to help. Just say...
Okay, so it's like this.
Is that all we'll need to do?
Should be a piece of cake for the two of us.
Paimon's glad to hear it! Well then, guess it's about time we go and find some evidence for all the bad stuff Utera's been doing, right? Chiori said we shouldn't disturb her over the next couple of days. We can check in with her again once she's done with all the new designs.
But the show's in another 2 days, isn't it? Will she be able to make the deadline?
Well, according to her, she wants to first beat Utera fair and square at the show, and then defeat him in the court of public opinion. She said that it'd be like,
A two-pronged approach?
Courtesy first, confrontation second?
Yeah, something like that.
Understood. Then we'll have faith in her decision. We'll go make some preparations. See you at the...
All right, counting on you. Okay, then let's also do as Chiori said and meet up with her at Uter's factory in 2 days. We'll gather the evidence then. Oh, Paimon sure hopes she won't have a hard time.
Fresh fruit, sweeter than syrup. Fruit, sweeter than syrup.
Who says you have to use scissors to cut clothes? Leave those rigid rules behind. I much prefer using my own cutting tools. Oh, you're here.
Chiori! How are the new outfits coming along? You look kinda tired.
Just a few steps left now. I've handed the rest over to Olaf. We should be able to make tonight's show.
Wow, that's cutting it real close. Are you sure she'll be okay without you?
Don't worry. I have no intention of giving ground on either front. With the fashion show scheduled for tonight, Uter has closed his factory. This is our only chance to secure any incriminating evidence.
Okay, Paimon totally gets that this is all his fault and he totally deserves it, but wouldn't we technically be trespassing on his property if we just barge in like this?
His factory is usually open to the public. It may not be open for business right now, but that doesn't mean we're just curious customers after all, aren't we?
Well, when you put it...
Anyway, Uter's factory is right over there. Let's hurry.
Why would he open a factory over there?
We have different marketing strategies. While I specialize in high-end custom garments, he prefers low prices and large sales volumes. I don't know. Maybe the rent here is cheap.
Alright. Ugh, it's really creepy. Paimon would...
You make a good point. Let's all be on our guard.
nobody here.
Welcome, dear visitors.
Oh, Paimon nearly fell out of the air. What is that thing?
A mechanical guide. They usually use a recorded tape to give you a tour of the factory.
Please, follow me, dear guests. First stop on our tour is a look at the gradual evolution of our clothing brand. After that, we welcome you to peruse our most popular styles.
Huh. Otear seems to be doing pretty well for himself, doesn't he? Why would he feel the need to bother you when he could just focus on improving his own brand?
This is the studio where our designs are made. Please, take a look around at your leisure. These are the fitting rooms. Please use them at your leisure.
Huh? There seems to be something in this fitting room. Why did the door just close?
Hold on tight, Paimon.
Why is it moving?
It seems to have stopped.
Where did this thing take us?
Seems like it was someplace deeper inside the factory.
Look out! There are guards here! Fire hazard! Water jet!
Let's go, Tomato!
Time to clean up. Water jet! Go the ship down! place is filthy! Are the clothes from Uter's shop seriously made here?
Look over there.
Ooh, that water looks super nasty!
And I was the one using unsafe materials, Uter?
So he was actually the one who opened an underground factory.
No wonder his clothes always felt weird to the touch. He's been using all manner of tricks here in a bid to cut costs.
Should the clothes made here even be worn?
Never mind issues with shrinking and fading. These materials can give you skin problems if you wear them too often.
That's terrifying! Let's take some photos right away as evidence. This way he won't be able to try and deny anything in court. All right, let's keep going. Doesn't look like there's a path here.
Follow me. Let's go up.
This place seems like some kind of warehouse. Ugh, and it stinks too. Huh? What's going on? Our way in's been blocked.
Oof. Seems like he knew we'd be coming.
You did say he knew you really well, didn't you?
Yes. And that's because we used to be partners.
But you're practically at each other's throats! Now you're telling us you used to work together?
When I first came to Fontaine, we were both fledgling designers who longed to gain a foothold in the world of fashion. We shared the same goal. In the beginning, we both wanted to make clothes that would stand out from the crowd and shatter tradition. The kind of clothes that would turn heads and leave people in awe. But with every criticism we received, and every sponsor that rejected us, Uter's confidence disappeared little by little. Finally, right before Fashion Week, he came to the conclusion that we wouldn't be able to make the designs we always dreamed of, and we parted ways. For my part, I gambled it all and devoted everything I had to that 1 week. I came out the other side with something that really made me proud. I was nervous to present it, of course, but I knew it was my chance to show the industry what I was made of. In the end, well...
You received the acclaim of all Fontaine while Uter gave up on his dream and turned to making this sketchy stuff.
I don't know the exact details of what happened after that. All I know is...
He's just jealous of what you've accomplished. A guy like that doesn't deserve your sympathy.
Well, let's focus on getting out of here first. Missing the show is as good as letting him win.
There are some control panels over there. Let's see if any of those buttons... that doesn't seem to have done anything. Maybe try the next one? That didn't do anything either.
Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode.
Later.
Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode.
Leave it all to me, as a dutiful maid would.
Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode. Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode.
Steady it.
Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode.
Look over there. Seems like there's a way out. Maybe we can use these mechanisms to get higher.
Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode. Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode. Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders entering expulsion mode.
We finally made it out. Why does it feel like the movement patterns of those mechs have changed?
Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders initiating shutdown procedure. 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 Warning. Warning. Unauthorized intruders initiating shutdown procedure.
We're finally out of that stinky place. Let's take this evidence and get out of here. entrance, at last.
Oh, those chambers couldn't hold you, I see. What a surprise.
We've collected a bunch of evidence on all the nasty stuff happening at your factory. You're not get-
The evidence on your person, you mean? What makes you think I have any intention of letting it get past these walls?
More mechanical guards? Really? Ever thought about using these funds for a legitimate purpose?
Oh, but this is a legitimate purpose.
What? Destroying Chiori Boutique? Or continuing to make your rotten rags?
Proving that fashion is merely a laughable farce. A carnival of ignorance!
You know what your problem is, Uter? You've become so obsessed with the concept of fashion itself that you let it paralyze you. Stop trying to cater to it. Focus on your own work, and you get to decide what fashion means.
Spare me the lecture, why don't you? Sooner or later, you'll cater to all the voices too, you know. After all, what is fashion but another form of public opinion?
Fashion is about aspiring towards a certain ideal. But it's up to you to decide what it is. My brand caters to no one but myself and my vision. My ideal, and it's not going to change.
Once the people witness their former darling's spectacular fall, they'll understand how laughable that ideal truly is.